Okay, so everyone wants to keep Brandon Ayuk for obvious reasons. But keeping him and Deebo Samuel and the team together is going to be a very expensive proposition on a team, again, that doesn't throw very much. So should they trade Deebo Samuel? Can they trade Deebo Samuel? How would they even go about it?
Well, should they? I agree with you that they should. But the problem is that who's the real GM of the team? Kyle is never going to let go of Deebo. Deebo is his buddy, his guy. And Kyle also can point to Deebo as his draft relevance. That's the one draft pick Kyle got right.
Yep.
And so can you see Kyle letting go of Deebo? No. But beyond that, you're going to need Deebo to create space this year. And so on the cap aspect, I talked with Jason Hurley, the cap expert for 49erscap.com, and he said that you can do this. You can restructure Deebo, and you save $15.8 million right there. You can re-sign Ayuk, and then you front and you deal with the big signing bonus, and you can save another $7 million. And then in terms of extending Brock, you give him a gigantic signing bonus and a long-term deal where there's very little salary, so the cap hit isn't that big in the first 3 years. And he's done the calculations to say you can do all three of those things. So you can keep Deebo, you can keep Ayuk, and you can extend Brock. You can do all three. But
you can do whatever you want. I'm sure you can. But should you?
In theory, you can. Should you? No. Will they? Kyle's the GM. He's not going to get rid of Deebo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Chiefs could have kept Tyreek Hill somehow.
Sure, but the Chiefs are the Chiefs. Yeah. The Niners are run by Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
And Kyle Shanahan is going to say, no, we're keeping Deebo.
Now, the thing that's interesting to me is, like, even though we know Ayuk's better than Deebo, I don't think the rest of the league looks at it that way. And, like, Deebo draws more attention than Ayuk. Deebo gets more looks than Ayuk, especially in the playoffs. Like, Ayuk's so essential to the team because he has this unique skill set and he can beat man-to-man coverage, but they still don't use him enough to make him a difference maker. Like, 3 catches a game in the playoffs, they didn't give him an opportunity to punish a defense for focusing on Deebo or something else. You take Deebo off this team and all of a sudden Ayuk's getting double teamed and he's already getting 3 catches a game without that treatment. I don't know. I wonder what the offense would be like without Deebo. It'll be interesting. They really struggled without Deebo in games this year. They might be in a position where they may have to pay both of them and start to throw a little bit more, but their offensive line isn't built to do that.
No. Well, and then that's the next dynamic with the draft is you have to do this. So
get a right tackle. Now you can use
a right tackle and a right guard. And then that's part of it is that you have to deal with the interior rush, especially with Brock because he's short. And so I think
was the issue Jake Brendel not was Jake Brendel not identifying not setting the protections correctly? Like, what was the issue?
Well, I think the issue was mainly numbers. It's that Kansas City was sending more people than the Niners had folks to block. And then the issue on top of that was that Kyle didn't adjust to it. He didn't bring somebody back in pass pro. And that's because he's so married to the plays that he's created that he can't adjust and say, okay, I'm going to take one guy out of the routes and put him in pass protection. He can't do it. And that's why Kansas City gets 9 unblocked rushers on blitzes in the biggest plays of the game. That's on Kyle. You need to get better in the O-line too, but bottom line, that's Kyle. You got to
definitely Kyle.
Yeah,
it is. Do you think they'll trade Deebo this offseason? No.
I don't trust Kyle any further than I can throw him in terms of.
They're going to keep the team together Kyle and just throw the defensive coordinator under the bus and bring the team back. It was all Steve Wilks' fault.
Right. Sure.
It was all Steve Wilks' fault. Was bring back the whole team, get rid of Chase Young, Steve Wilks, Ray McLeod, and that's it.
Speaking of Ray, why aren't they getting rid of the special teams coach?
Good question.
Why is Schneider still here? It's
why is
your dad said earlier today. Bill Walsh always told his team, if there's a live ball and a punt, you fall on it. What did Ray say? He said,
playmaker.
I do the same thing all over again. I'm a playmaker. And Bill Walsh would have told him, yeah, and you're also an ex-49er.
Yeah, go play for the Bills. Go to Buffalo.
Right.
Enjoy Buffalo.
And that's on the special teams guy. It's just You have to coach them and say, look, you fall on the ball, period. Don't be a hero. Trying to pick up that ball may have cost them a championship. And I think that has to cost that special teams coach's job.
Yeah, to
and
me,
obviously they're not going to bring Ray back. He's gone.
Ray's mistake's a lot bigger than Spencer Burford. I feel like Spencer Burford's mistake has been blown out of proportion. Like one way or another, there was going to be a free rusher on that play. Yeah. One way or another, the Chiefs are bringing more than the Niners could block. So you're either going to turn loose with Justin Reed or Chris Jones. Like, okay. Like, yeah, you'd rather block Chris Jones, but either way, that play was doomed.
Right. And so the question becomes is, okay, how are you going to deal with it going forward? And you need to have Kyle adjusting to putting more people in pass pro instead of Kyle the genius putting everybody out in routes to clear out to get the open receiver.
Yeah, Snyder's got to go. Snyder's got to go.
Oh, no question.
Ray's got to go. Snyder's got to go. Moody's got to go. Like they got to overhaul that special teams.
Moody won't go either. He's another Kyle. He's a Kyle pick.
Well,
that's Kyle's means of cap savings is that I get rid of Robbie Gould and his $6 million and I replace him with Jake Moody at third round money. Jake Moody's going to be on the team for years because that's Kyle's pick. That's his pick. That's his
nice. Great.
Lucky us. Money
enjoy
over football.
49er fans, the Jake Moody experience.